Assalamu alaikum, it's Mubarak Ali Khan. I hope all of you are enjoying good health. Respected listeners, today we talk about speech writing. Actually, I produce the content related to CIAE, that is particularly O levels and A levels. I also produce some content related to the intermediate level, that is college level, and I produce some content related to freshman English and functional English or any such language course which you take as part of partial fulfillment of your degree into your first or second semester of your maybe bachelor's program or master's program. So these videos are for those. Without wasting any further time, I would like to share my content with you, and we'll talk about basically speech writing, and let's take a look that how it actually works. So yes, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. About speech writing, there are a few things which I need to mention with you, and regardless of the importance actually which speech writing has, I would like to tell further that the best communicators are the people who delivers the best speeches as well, and they are the people who are not into any uh, kind of disturbance once they are into the podium or once they're into the days, or they are actually fully confident in that. And what makes it like how they become that confident, that's because of the homework they do. I used to say one thing quite often, that if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail, and this is one of the planning steps over here. Dorothy Sarnoff said one thing about this, that make sure you have finished speaking before your audience has finished listening. In your speech, whenever you're delivering a speech, it should not be the case that your audience is getting bored somewhere, or they don't know that how is it going. It is so haphazard. They have no idea about anything that what is going on exactly. So your concern or your content should be in a way that it is complete, it is concise, it is concrete, and it is consistent in terms of appealing to the audience in terms of your points. So let's go into it directly, that what it says basically. So here you go. What is speech writing? It is an art of conveying, yeah, it is an art of conveying a message to the audience either through oral or other means of communication, such as PowerPoint slides, which I am doing in front of you. We write speech to inform, to explain, or to persuade. So there can be three different ways. Either we can inform, for example, if I am CEO of one firm, and I have to deliver a speech to tell about the milestones we have achieved, or kind of the future aims do we have, and kind of layout through which we have to work, then I will be particular about my information kind of part. So that speech will be dealing with that. Or it can be an explanation. For example, recently in Pakistan, the petrol prices has a hike, and let's say 25 rupees petrol from 75 to 100 it has gone. So for the explanation, let's say Prime Minister Imran Khan is delivering a speech, and in that you will see that there will be explanation. Or persuade as well. For example, two parties, maybe leftist or rightist, or maybe Democrats or liberals, or maybe PMLN or PTI, or maybe any other parties which you know. Whensoever they are delivering speech, they are delivering the speech to persuade the audience. Why are they persuading the audience? Because they want to turn them into their favor. And if they are not, improving their vote bank, then definitely how would they survive? So speech is a very powerful tool. It maneuvers. It kind of adds. It kind of detracts sometimes as well. So we have to be so cautious about it. Moving on into it a little further, that a speech, basically, we come to know about the purpose of speech, that is to inform, to persuade, to instruct, or to entertain. And different types of speech are there. First of all, you may have demonstrative speech, you may have entertaining speech, you may have persuasive speech. Demonstrative speech, particularly, which demonstrates about, let's say that, okay, we have given back the loan to IMF, this much amount is given. So it's a demonstration. in that you show some statistics as well. Entertaining speech can be a fun, a humor. For example, you watch different comedians, different stand-up comedians, and they are basically delivering a speech. Actually, they are delivering something, and they are, in terms of the entertainment, they are doing that. For example, Umar Sharif in Pakistan, or maybe couples in India, or there are different people who are doing this job. About persuasive speech, as I've said earlier, that persuasive speech has a particular goal. It has to, kind of formulate. It has to reformulate, or maybe it has to construct or reconstruct and maybe deconstruct something. So persuasive speech is a very powerful tool. We'll talk about that in upcoming slides. Demonstrative speech, it is used to educate the audience about something that they are not aware of. We can use visual aids to better explain how to do a certain task. For example, I am delivering a speech, let's say, in front of you, and I'm talking about speech writing to you, and I'm showing some content to you. That is my PowerPoint presentation, which you can see on your screens, as well as I am here to demonstrate too. So that's how it goes. Uh, it is so handy in terms of giving explanation to something, or maybe any kind of speech in which you are showing the demographics, or maybe you're showing some kind of content in that. Entertaining speech, this form of entertainment is usually done by using interesting illustrations. For example, they do some alliteration, some giving some repetition of words. They have their own jokes. Humor is there, fun is there, irony is metaphor, different kind of, you see, elements of story writing is there. So they make it like that, hilarious stories and just flat out humor. So that's how they do it. And by the way, this is the most popular one nowadays, and through this actually we do the satire on the society as well, through irony. You see, for example, if I say, if an ironical way I say that in Pakistan there is one actor, Meera, and I keep on giving her example, and if she watches somewhere, so my apologies to her. But if I say that Meera speaks English very well, but in the reports, in the news every day, like she makes a kind of, so dangling kind of uh, usage of English she does. So that's how it goes, and it's part of that entertaining speech as well. Persuasive speech, the topmost type of it, which is normally, it is mover and shaker of one society. For example, once Imran Khan was coming into the power, you could see the persuasive speeches he has made. And now, if PMLN is not in power, but the kind of persuasive speeches, or maybe Bilal Bhutto is making such persuasive speeches. I'm not going into that political content, and I don't, support any of those. But the thing is that I'm looking at them as a literary, or kind of linguistic perspective. So there, I would see that they are making quite good content, no matters what. They are making their speeches in a way that persuades their audience, and so that's why they are working, they are excelling. If they stop making persuasive speeches, their parties will be down. Moving on, persuasive speech, basically purpose of this speech is to convince the audience that the opinion of the speaker on the particular topic is the right or correct one. The best way to persuade your audience and make them support your opinion is to give solid facts about the topic. Okay, so there are some tips and pros for speech writing. Pick your main ideas. First of all, you should know that why are you making this speech. For example, if in CIAE you have to write 250 words, a speech of 250 words you have to make, and let's say the topic is that the principal is leaving the college and you have to give a farewell speech. So there is your content actually, and your pros, or kind of your main point is that you have to put such kind of element in which you let people know that how beneficial the principal had been to the college or the school, what he had been doing throughout his tenure. So in that way, your main idea is about to highlight the important changes in a positive way he has made into your college or school. So don't try to put too many ideas into your speech. You see, like as you could see my slides as well, I don't put so much data into it. I don't overload my slides. Rather, I make it so short and small and crispy. so that I could explain it to you. Likewise, if you have written the whole speech with you, you will be reading, rather you will be presenting. Speech is presented, not read. Okay. Again, the example you could see Nawaz Sharif whenever he goes out and there he has to deliver the speech in English. So you know that he drinks water and using tissue paper or trying or repeating the same point again and again. On the other hand, Imran Khan, when goes, I'm not supporting anyone. I'm talking about the literary and linguistic perspective. For example, if it is in UN or somewhere, still what goes actually that he is not using any paper. Maybe he has made some points, but he's speaking through his heart. So such kind of things appeal to the audience. That is one of the strong tool of Imran Khan to come into the power too. You have shortage of time for your speech. Definitely, if it is a contest or somewhere, you have shortage of time to deliver your speech. Remember that you are writing a speech, not an essay. So in writing a speech, there can be a few, you see, you may become somewhere informal. You may repeat something. You may, kind of the tone and the intonation is different. And the major point is write like you talk, because speech is eventually to be spoken into the audience, and essay is eventually a reading comprehension. It's a kind of a reading thing, and at the end it will be read, and speech will be presented or spoke. So write like you talk. So it will be general, it will be kind of, not, you see, you won't be pretentious in terms of presenting it somewhere. To get the marks is fine, but you should know that in the real scenario you may have to write some speech as well. So write in a way that you may justify your words whatsoever you're saying. People will hear the speech, not read it. Definitely, the more conversational you can make it sound, the better. Yeah, that's how it goes. And moving on, use short sentences. You see, once we're putting short sentences, we are putting more emphasis onto that. To be or not to be, this is the question. If I could have said something, a whole paragraph, that would not have been that applicable as compared to the short sentences, which are more, kind of it. These are easy into the process, and try not to use double negatives into your speech. This is a black verse vernacular as well. For example, it is not unnecessary to go into the market into the pandemic situation. Actually, it means that it is necessary. So why are you trying to put your audience into trouble? In newspaper, you see such kind of language, and double negatives are there into your lad. It takes time to process. So it's good to use singular, simple sentences. It's better to write two simple sentences than one long, complicated sentence. That is also a tip. Use contractions. Say I am instead of I am. We're instead of we are. You do not have to follow all the rules of written English grammar like this: see, got it, hope so. You see, um, down there you would see your English teacher might be horrified, but people don't always talk in complete sentences with verbs and nouns. So try to write it like people talk. So our major concern is to make it as understandable as we can, as easy to digest as we can, and basically it is not the words which are important, but the content which is. Okay, I mean to say that use simple words and use complicated content so that the audience understand the concept in a very easy way. Always read your speech aloud while you're writing it, so you will you know come to know that how do you speak actually, and how you will hear right away if you sound like a book or a real person talking. So don't sound like a book into speech writing. In essay writing, you have the liberty to sound like a book or a robot. I don't mind that. But in speech, try to sound like a person talking. Now, use concrete words and examples. Concrete details keep people interested. For instance, which is more effective? A vague sentence like open play spaces for children's sports are in short supply. Let me repeat. Open play spaces for children's sports are in short supply. Or the more concrete, we need more baseball and soccer field for our kids. Like you see, open spaces can be any space. Can be any space where any kind of garden or maybe anything, but actually we need a baseball or soccer field. So instead of being so vague, you have to be concrete. You have to put the words you actually want and be selective into your lexical resource, into your vocabulary. Get your facts together. You want people to believe that you know what you are talking about. Again, you won't be fake into that. So you'll need to do some research. For instance, let's say your big issue is the environment. You promise to pass a law that says all new cars must run on electricity, not gas. That will cut down on air pollution, but it would help if you had a few facts. How much bad air does one car create each year? How many new cars are sold in the US every year? So how much will pollution be cut every year? But the point is that you should have the statistics. One car pollutes the air to how much kind of proportion, and then how many cars are doing the calculation exactly. So that that will be more efficient, that will be more effective. And once you're writing in Urdu, you see that content is mostly delivered, and you get a good clap once you're putting some verse, a poetry, maybe Iqbal or someone you're putting deliberately inside, and the tone of that poetry, that people are cutting like gajars and moolies, like you speak in a way that people are most connected with your language. So that's your triumph basically. Use the library or the internet to do research. Definitely, these are the platforms. Your new policy proposal will sound really strong if you have the facts to back it up. There are many issues you can talk about at your inauguration. How do you pick one? A good idea is to look inside yourself and find out what you feel very deeply about. Your issue should reflect who you are and what you care about. Persuade with the classic structure. In a speech where you are trying to persuade someone, the classic structure is called problem solution. In the first part of your speech, you say, here's a problem, here's why things are so terrible. Then in the second part of your speech, you say, in the second part of the speech, you say your solution of that. Simplify. After you have written a first draft of your speech, go back and look for words you can cut. Cutting words in speech can make your points more clear. One speechwriter for a US senator has a sign above her desk that says, fewer words, clearer point. So this is the key of, this is the crux of the matter. Put fewer words and clearer points to the audience. Don't just keep speaking and speaking and speaking. I know I'm speaking more because you may pause my video, you may stop it somewhere, you may digest it later, you may, listen to it in chunks. So that's why I'm speaking more. Otherwise, fewer words are clearer points. It helps her remember to always simplify a speech by cutting out words. So, a generic speech outline, that how it goes basically. First of all, generic speech outline has the following outline. Number one, introduction, body, conclusion. Like first of all, it's going to be an introduction, and it's a body and a conclusion. Okay. Example, outline number one, introduction. Establish topic and core message, that what actually you're trying to put over here. Let's list sporting points. Body. Body can be sporting point 1, sporting point 2, sporting point 3 with good statistics, a kind of hold. You see that you are like a tiger or a lion at that time, and your audience should kept seized while listening to you. Conclusion. Recap main points, summarize core message. Do not put some extra points into your conclusion. It will be like so haphazard that you are not prepared basically, and whatsoever is coming to your mind, you just keep speaking, because a speech is always prepared. Otherwise, you will make some blunders, and which will result into different memes as you get onto Facebook or different area. Call to action. Okay, why is it difficult to start writing? Lack of direction. First of all, we are not directed. We don't know. For example, if I have to write, let's say I have to make my slides. So I have no directions. I say that, okay, it's Corona everywhere. I'm at my home. So why should I walk? Let it be go. But my direction will be, okay, I'll be making a video of that, my students will get benefit of that, so I got a direction into this. Then you lack clarity about what you want to say. Like, you're not clear. What is the point? What is the agenda behind that? How do you exactly try to portray? Why? What is your targeted audience? So for that, I have made another video for 5 planning steps of writing. Watch that. I'll leave that in the description below. Large ego. Large ego, for example, my audience is, let's say I'm teaching at university, at college, and to O-level students as well. Then I say that O-level students are kind of so tiny tidbits, so okay, I can play with them. So it's my ego kind of, that I have to prepare for university, but not for O-levels, not for my small students. So that is large ego. So far I have it. I am not a good student for that particular kind of group. If I'm not preparing, I'm failing. You don't want to write more than one draft, so you keep trying to make each sentence perfect. And realize your first draft will not be a final draft. You may keep cutting it. You may keep editing it. It's fine. It's okay. That's your draft. Keep it doing. Now remember, practice your introduction many times. It should set the tone of your entire speech. So it should be enthusiastic and fluent. Also, it should be no longer than 30 to 45 seconds in your informative and persuasive speech, and only about 20-30 seconds in your artifact speech. For example, you're writing your introduction into 30 or 40 points, not more than that. Right, speech writing, 7 ways to write or give a great speech. Number 1, it have a structure. It always has a structure. Strike the right tone. You should know that which tone to be put where. It's not that you just to your louder tone without knowing that what will be the outcome of that. So put the right tone, strike the right tone. Be yourself. Uh, you see, if you're trying to copy someone, you are losing your own strengths as well, and you're not able to copy them exactly. So where is your identity? Create your own identity and be yourself. I could have made such videos on YouTube while going out somewhere and having my tripod in my hand and enjoying everywhere, maybe putting some people around here. But I'm trying to make it simple because this is what I am, sitting in my drawing room enjoying the way I do, and I'm so handy with it. I'm so easy, so relaxed with it. So be yourself. Don't put yourself into trouble, please. And repeat yourself, definitely. Keep repeating yourself and keep editing to yourself and keep understanding the new things and keep pouring down the cascade of new vocabulary which you have. Don't stop anywhere. Speak less, show more. Now, in the speech writing, you see your non-verbal gestures are more powerful as compared to your verbal gestures. You, if your non-verbal gesture, for example, you're saying there were 4 people in the garden and 3 of them went away, and I showed one finger for 3. It will be confusing. It will be confusing my audience. So your body movement should go according to what you are saying. If you're trying to show someone walking and you are trying to tell something else, so it will be different. It won't make that change. So stay calm and have your flights in an easy way. Right, moving on then. End strong. All's well that ends well, right? People forget what from where you started from. But if your summary points in the end that, okay, I talked about this, that, and this one and that one, and then you have completed that in a very proper, in a well-mannered, and a very, accurate time, then you are your boss. You're going so well. No one can question you then. Keep it short, but accurate. Okay. And moving on to tips for an effective conclusion, that how to make effective conclusion. Don't end abruptly. For example, I'm delivering it and I say, okay, that's all. Thank you, bye. It will be so abrupt. It will be kind of heart scratching that, okay, what he did. Don't ramble. Simply, don't ramble. Don't introduce new points in the end. I mean to say in the conclusion. Once you're done, so you are done, okay? It's not that you keep editing or adding new points into the end. It won't be going well. Don't apologize. For example, if you have make some point wrong, then don't say, okay, sorry and all. Rather, connect it with your words. Don't say that. Don't say that's it. Or I guess that's my speech. Or that's all I've got to say, thanks. Like it will be say that you are so casual into that. You're not taking your audience seriously. You had to say whatsoever you have. For example, you're not saying, rather you're vomiting out whatsoever you had, and then you're done. You're gone. All right. So okay. That is all from my side. Thank you so very much for your time. And if you have any questions, if you have any query, anything you would like to ask, then definitely you can leave that into the comment section. And once you're with me into the live class or somewhere, I'll be answering your queries as well. Do watch it and share it with the people around you, whosoever wants this kind of topic. And you see that in Cambridge, half of the marks go with your content and half of the marks go with your language. Okay, so your language should be quite strong so that you're not losing any of the marks. Getting A in English is quite a tough job, okay, but keep practicing. Practice makes the man. There is nothing behind it. There is nothing above it. There is nothing which you would you see. If you stop practicing and you just watch me and you say, okay, I'm done, I know how to do it, no, it won't help you. You need to practice it. All right, thank you so very much for your time. Inshallah, I'll see you with another video. Bye bye. Allah Hafiz.